What's up, y'all? I said, "What's up, y'all? We canvassing. We canvassing. I'm going around. I'm trying to. I'm populating the show. Give me 1 second. Y'all know how this goes. As soon as the show starts, I gotta populate that thing. I gotta spread it around the internets. I gotta. I gotta. I gotta spread it around the internet. So give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. All right, here we go. All right, so John Brown podcast coming to you live. You already know what time it is. Monday morning. And there's so many stories. There's so many stories. But the Padres follow the plan. I told y'all what the Padres needed to do to get me back in the fold. To get me back on board. I told y'all what the Padres had to do. And they did it. And I'm actually pretty surprised, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie, man. And if you want to be mad at yourself. I'll tell y'all what that's about in a second. Because as you guys know, I always I put my Padre coverage at the end of the podcast because most people here get to the podcast more towards the end. And so I say my Padres coverage toward the end of the podcast. Shout out to the chat pack for showing up, baby. Happy Monday to all, and to all a happy Monday as usual. Y'all know we are setting up. We're setting up for Billy Ray. So all the people who are here, before y'all start asking me about that, the celebration will be on the 10th. Okay, August the 10th. That's in 7 days. In 7 days, we will be celebrating the life and times of the great Billy Ray Smith Jr. They did a lovely, 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 lovely presentation at the Del Mar racing track this weekend. Scott helped put that together. Kimberly was there, so that was beautiful to see her out there and feeling the love from people, because I know she's going through a tough time. And so August the 10th, man, we're working on where. We almost got where nailed down, but just know it is August the 10th. So clear your calendars and be ready to prepare. I'm pretty sure we just go get hammered. I don't like to tell people prepare to get hammered, but prepare to come and drink, because that's what you do at a celebration of life. But in addition to that, you know, we are on the road to 500. We are on the road to 500 subscribers. Okay? I say we on the road to 500 subscribers. And to do that, I just need y'all to do one very simple thing. Head over to YouTube, subscribe to the show. Obviously, we're over 300. I think we're gaining some steam, and I think that's been really great. So continue to support the show. Continue to go over there and subscribe. Continue to share it. We are broadcasting the show on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, X, and Kick. We usually have a Kick bot show up in here somewhere. We haven't had a Twitch bot yet, but we have a Kick bot in here that shows up and asks me a bunch of questions that have nothing to do with the show. So that's always funny. The Sporting Tribune is the company that I now currently am partnering with. So shout out to the people at the Sporting Tribune. Shout out to Arash Makazi. Your boy got a title and everything, man, emails and all this other stuff. So shout out to me. Shout out to me. Let's continue to grow this thing, man. Okay, now let's get to the chat pack. Shout out to the chat pack, my co-host. People ask me why there's no co-host on the show. There is a co-host on the show. It's you, the chat pack. So if you ever have any questions, if you ever have anything you want to say to the show, there are two ways to do that. The first one is to go to johnbrownerpodcast@gmail.com. That's where you put your long form question in, or you have a complaint of some sort, or you want to, I don't know, ask me a question you don't want people to see. That, because trust me, that happens too. Feel free to go over to johnbrownerpodcast@gmail.com and do that. All questions about trying to get me to buy something, don't do them in the poll. Don't do them in the comment section. Do them at johnbrownerpodcast@gmail.com. And last but not least, if you want to chat, do your thing as a co-host. Get in there. Become a member of the chat pack. Boom. Ask Technology what it do. Tito, what it do? Tito coined the name chat pack, so shout out to Tito. Monday trade deadline, and it's a bunch of me. My dog Joe Rigby and the family, shout out. He giving a shout out to the chat pack. Let me see who else we got in here. Graham in the building. Graham, I'm gonna need you present today in the front of the class, dog, because we got some conversations we gotta have. Shout out to Excuse List. VC Smirks. Today is Christmas for who? Shout out, yeah. Excuses. Yo, listen, Twitch bots. Twitch bots, y'all trying to get a follow, holla at your boy. I got a couple followers on Twitch. Again, they bots, but I don't care. All this shit is bots. All this shit is bots. I mean, y'all real, don't get me wrong. The chat pack real as hell. Chat pack real than a motherfucker. But a lot of this is bots. All right, let's get down to business, man. Let's get down to business. Be mad at yourself. 100%. Be mad at you. I know I'm going to get a lot of people upset with this conversation, but when you see what the Dodgers gave up for Tariq Skubal, be mad at yourself. You mean to tell me that the teams that are in contention for the playoffs don't have 2 or 3 prospects in the top 50? Yes. And before y'all start saying, yes, I know he said that he wanted to play for the Dodgers, allegedly, whether he said that or not. That's cool. You don't care about that. Because I guarantee you, if he show up to your team, he's showing up to your team to win. To get these 3 prospects, this is the thing for me. I think prospects, this argument about prospects, it's really dumb. Because sometimes the prospect for James Shields turns into Fernando Tatis Jr. If y'all hear my throat going crazy, please acknowledge, and I apologize. The idea that James Shields turned into Fernando Tatis Jr., that's crazy to me. That's crazy to me. I guarantee you the fact that Juan Soto turned into James Woods and the kid at short, C.J. Abrams. That's probably not crazy because you know, buddy Juan Soto was nice, but this is the thing. This is the thing that we have to look. Be mad at your team. You mean to tell me the Padres didn't have 2 or 3 prospects in the top 50 of Major League Baseball that they could have given the Brewers to rent this guy? I got the same energy. I got the same energy for the Yankees. I got the same energy for the Cubs, who did make a trade. They got Lorenzen from Toronto, from the Blue Jays. I know the Rays got it. So of these teams, and this leads to a greater discussion, of these teams who did make the move or who did not make the move, be mad at the team you cheer for because they had these prospects. Everybody had this. This is not about the Dodgers having more money than everybody else. Everybody had this. The Padres do have top prospects. Now I watch how easy this is for me to, as they say on the streets, a quick Google search. Baseball top prospects. This is not hard. Hold on, let me get this stupid cookies thing out of my way. Okay, so the Dodgers, the Dodgers have the 4th number 1 prospect. So they didn't give up the 4th prospect in baseball. So they kept their guy. Like, I'm looking at these teams. Ethan Salas, number 30. You could give him away. What is he doing for you? At this point, what is Ethan Salas doing for you? He got called up to AAA. How does that help? I mean, yeah, you're right, bro. They don't have no prospects. Okay, yes, fair. The Padres got 1 prospect in the top 50. One. But again, any team, Boston could have made this trade. I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the top 50 list. There are a bunch of teams who could have made this trade. Seattle could have made this trade. Again, well, the Angels didn't have no reason to. Like, Philly, I'm looking at it. Philly could have made this trade. A lot of teams could have made this trade. So the fact that the Dodgers were actually able to make this trade, what are you? You can't be talking crazy. What what do prospects this is and this has been my argument about baseball for a very long time. James Shields for Fernando Tatis Jr. rarely happens. It sucks when it burns you, but when it burns you, it burns hard. But again, look at the White Sox. The White Sox are in a better position than the Cubs are, than the Padres are, whether it be with young talent. And at this particular year, record-wise and energy, the White Sox are lit right now. And again, prospects are in the eye of the beholder, Joe Rigby. You're correct. Rigby says probably depends who's ranking the Padres, but arguably have 2 or 3 in the top 50. Not very good. Cap 2 in the building. They don't know how much they can spend either. Again, these are excuses that we're talking about. These are next season excuses that, by the way, they're not going to be in the baseball season next year. And again, I'm going to get into that after this. I've talked about this before. I told y'all about this before, and I will dwell on that in a second. But I'm talking about the Scooby trade. The fact that all the playoff teams, the Diamondbacks could have done this. There are a bunch of teams who could have made this possible for their organization. And the team that did it was the Dodgers. So if we're going to be pissed off at the Dodgers for always finding a way to do this, then that's on you as a fan. I don't tell people how to fan is my favorite slogan, but you be mad at you. You be mad at you. Because all this is, at the end of the day, all this is the Dodgers doing what the Dodgers needed to do. And yet, there are a lot of teams now who started making moves after this. The dominoes that fell after that wouldn't give up a prospect for Scuba. They rely on them. Yeah, the lifeblood of their organization, the lifeblood of their competition is their farm system. That's the way it should be for teams who don't have money. But at some point, you've got to be able to sign some of these guys. And this gets me to my next point. Uh-oh. Are we down? No, I think it's just you, Joe. I think it's just you. Let me make sure. Let me double check, make sure. I think it's just you though, Joe. Yeah, it's just you, Joe. So what I'm saying is this. Again, y'all, I talk to my co-hosts all the time. I talk to my co-hosts. They in the chat. They over there. We talk. If I see y'all chatting something, I double check. Y'all listen. Y'all the HR. I mean, this is a terrible HR department, but y'all HR, y'all communications, y'all all that. So when y'all tell me something's going on, I go check it. So look, to me, I'm not a big prospects guy. I'm a win guy. But if you're the Brewers, if you're the Tampa Bay Rays, if you rely on these guys to then come through and make things work for you, then I get that. And okay, you don't make that deal. But when it comes time for them to pay Mazeroski, this guy who throws 100 miles an hour like 70 times a game, he's going to be playing for the Dodgers too. And this is the problem. So don't be mad at Mazeroski when he go to get that paper. Because once you blow up, by the way, this is Paul Skeens waiting to happen. This is Paul Skeens waiting to happen. In a year or two, we will be having this exact same conversation about Paul Skeens when the Pirates won't pay him. About Mazeroski when the Brewers won't pay him. This is the problem in baseball. And there's only one way to fix this. Because this conversation, and let me get to this too before we move on. Double in forever. I appreciate you asking this question. And so my next comment is not about you. I just want to be very clear because I wanted to get to this Devers to San Diego thing. This is not about you. This is just my general feel. When I saw this come up, I don't know if it was Ken Rosenthal or I don't know who brought up Devers to San Diego, but I saw it too. I read it and I almost broke something. That's not going to happen. Who you trading him for, Manny? Who you trading him for? Xander? San Francisco taking any of those contracts right now? And at this point where you've now turned the season around, you're not trading none of these people either. If you're the Padres right now, you've won 8 out of 9 games. You're not moving none of your guys now. You looking to add. You're looking to add. Yes. They do help with pronunciation. Shout out to the chat pack for helping me phonetically pronounce many, many things I cannot spell. Shout out to y'all. That's what I really need y'all for. Pronunciations, because I don't deal with this. These words be killing me. The words be killing your boy, dog. These names, I be struggling. Shout out to the kick. Okay, the kick's in. Kick's in. The kick pod is here. What up? It's Jonathan Ang. Let me see. Who that? What's up? Yeah, I'm seeing the chat. I just gave you a shout out, bro. The kickbot. Hey, kickbot. We're in the middle of something. No. We're in the middle of something. No. Let us do this, and then I'll get to you. So, this leads me to my next portion of this conversation. So, the next portion of this conversation is the inevitable. There's going to be a salary cap. There's going to be a salary cap. Because the way this is going to continue to go, it's unsustainable. And by the way, the salary cap will not fix every signing problem in Major League Baseball. But what it will do, it will allow you for people to keep their own people. It will allow Paul Skeens to stay in Pittsburgh. It'll allow Mazeroski to stay in Milwaukee because the owners have to spend. There will be a floor, and I said this before when the floor was originally announced. When the number for the floor was originally announced, I said the floor, there are already more than half the teams under the floor. These are your Rockies. These are your Pirates, the Reds, the Braves. I think the Diamondbacks were under there. There are at least 14 teams under what the floor would be. The Royals were under there. I don't know if I said the Royals. The White Sox were under there. The Tigers were under there. There are a bunch of teams that are already under the floor. So just by simply establishing a floor, you force these teams to come out of their pocket and pay more. You can press at the top so that now everybody can't keep going to the same team. Because if I'm the organization if I'm the Dodgers, by the way, who you cannot be mad at them. And if you believe in this grand conspiracy theory, by the way, I'm going to get me a tinfoil hat for some of this stuff. If you believe in this grand conspiracy that the owners are conspiring so the Dodgers can build up this mega monster, and so now no one's going to be mad at the owners for the strike. No one's ever mad at the owner for any strike ever. They always get mad at the players because the players are identifiable. The players make millions of dollars. Millions. People don't care that the owner makes hundreds of millions. Nobody cares about that. They care about the guys whose jersey they have that they watch play. Those are the guys who lose out in any of these negotiations, in any of these labor strikes. The players always lose because it's their face, it's their name. Nobody's ever bought a jersey with the name with the Dodgers owner on the back. They don't sell those. But I got to tell you, the Dodger ownership, they look like the Michael Jordan of ownerships right now, dog. They look like the Tom Brady of ownerships. If it is a move to be done, whether it be Kyle Tucker, whether it be Tariq Skubal. By the way, at one point in time, that was Manny Machado that they went and got. Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts. Like, all these things can be accomplished by the team that you cheer for. Because again, as we continue to go down this path of who to blame, I can't believe be mad at you. Because the lockout is coming. And when the lockout comes and then the floor is established and these guys still don't sign anybody, and then it basically compresses the amount of money players can make. Because that's what this is. This is why the players don't want a salary cap, because it compresses how much money they can make. So if I'm Tariq Skubal, do I want to stay on the Tigers and lose but have $300 million? Because they got to pay somebody. And if you're asking me, by the way, I'm not giving no pitcher $300 million. I'm not doing that. I'll give an everyday guy $300 million because I can see the worth in that. I can see the value in that. I would never, ever give a pitcher a more than a 3-year contract. At the rate these guys blow out their arms, or their elbows or shoulders, I'm not giving no pitcher a 5 or 6 year deal. You're crazy. I was against the Joe Musgrove deal. Joe Musgrove has been nothing but superb as a Padre, whether it be from in the community, and when he plays, he's spectacular. But when has he played? The last time Joe Musgrove threw a meaningful pitch for the San Diego Padres, it was against the Mets in the playoffs when he had the shiny ears. That was the last time Joe Musgrove did anything of effect for the San Diego Padres. I would do you one better. I would do you one better. There's a certain pitcher for the Padres named Yu Darvish who we haven't seen in years. What up, Biggie? Years. So I'm sorry, I can't cut a check like that for a pitcher. Everyday player, yeah, I can cut a check like that for an everyday player. I can't cut a $300 million check for a pitcher. Nah, buddy, I can't do it. I can't do it, bruh. You got to miss me with that. Biggie says, players in the MLB haven't lost anything since the 90s when baseball owners were exposed for collusion. There won't be an official cap. The owners will just agree to stop paying big money. See, I disagree with that. I think there will be a cap. I think there will be a floor. I think there will be a cap. Because at some point, as the ownership group, they see the salary cap working in every other sport. It works in basketball. It works in football. It works in football to the owner's discretion so well that might be the model that they're trying to follow. It works in hockey the similar way it works in basketball. So these caps have proven to be wildly successful for the owners. And if you are Major League Baseball, if I'm Detroit, yeah, I want to keep them, but I can't. If I'm Milwaukee, yeah, I want to keep them, but I can't. As an ownership, you've got to find a way to give back to your team. You've got to find a way to give back to your organization without doing what the Padres did, which lived above their means. The Padres are operating on the credit card right now. And it might be a black card, but even those have limits. And so now you find yourself in a situation where you as a group of people, as a conglomerate of folks, we got to work together. We may not all agree on how to get to the destination, but a cap will exist. A cap and a floor will exist because in the offseason, when they sign Tariq Skubal, it's going to feel like, one, inevitable. Two, it's going to feel like, why is everyone else playing? Because, thumbs up, they're going to win again. You heard it here first. They're going to win again. And they should. They've got the best pitchers, and they've got one of the best lineups in baseball. So when you have the best pitchers, you went out and got Edwin Diaz, by the way. Remember him? The best closer. And if you notice, people are like, oh, see, Edwin Diaz hadn't played, and Kyle Tucker sucked all year. Kyle Tucker's getting hot, and Edwin Diaz is coming off the DL. Yeah, he missed 80 games, I think it was. Because they know, the Dodgers know, we don't need them in August. We don't need them in July. We don't need them in June. They did the same thing last year with Blake Snell. We don't need him in June. We don't need him in July. We don't need him in August. In September and October is when we need these guys. So they find their way through the regular season. They did this exact same thing last year. And people kept saying, oh, they're injured or this person's hurt or blah, blah, blah. Ohtani hasn't pitched on the mound in 3 weeks. This is what they do. I cannot believe most of y'all haven't picked up on this. During the regular season, the Dodgers, they don't play guys. For what? This has been the hamstring of the repeat champion. You have to keep playing your guys to keep pace in the regular season so you can make the postseason. The Dodgers division is back to being so bad now. You just got to survive the regular season. And that's what they're doing. They're pacing themselves and they're surviving. They're surviving. So as the Dodgers continue to survive the regular season, and then, come postseason, come September, they pull out the hammer. They pop the trunk, as we used to say in the hood. They start pulling them things out. Here come Blake Snell. Oh, let me hold on. I got something specifically for that. They pop the trunk. They pull out Blake Snell. Freddie Freeman get healthy. Blake Snell get healthy. Trade for Tariq Skubal. Kyle Tucker start hitting. You see what's happening here? Ohtani start pitching and gambling, allegedly. You see the pattern? All this happened last year. Right in front of your face. What did you do? Man, they might not win. Look at this, look at that. They popped the trunk. Mookie Betts got healthy. Freddie Freeman got healthy. Ohtani started pitching and hitting. Max Muncy started getting clutch hits again. I'm not a Dodger fan. I'm not stupid either. I'm not blind either. That's all. Biggie says, no other sport has a union like MLB. Listen, I'm not even gonna read the rest of this. Bro, I'm not, that's what everybody keeps saying. Do you know how toothless unions have now become in our time? Watch how toothless this union becomes after this. Watch after this. Watch how, after this lockout situation, the union's power, the Major League Baseball Players Association, their union, watch how powerless they look after this. What, are they going to play for the Savannah Bananas? Buddy, the owners have made their mind up. They've made their mind up. How much money are the players willing to lose? Because as an owner, I own, 5 other businesses. That's how I bought this. Understand, that's how they bought the teams. They have 4 or 5 other businesses. The Major League Baseball Players Association was strong when the league was ran by a lot of mom and pops. The Major League Players Baseball Association was strong when small pocketed owners own these teams. There is not a single owner in Major League Baseball that is not a billionaire. And those who are not billionaires, those will be the ones that fall to the wayside. Because if you're an owner, the salary cap is good for you. Excuses asks a good question too. Can't they just spread out the deals like Ohtani? Here's the difference with that. They can defer that money, but the players have to agree to defer that money. Whenever you sign a Major League Baseball contract, you have to have that in cash in an account somewhere. So you have to show that we have X amount of dollars in an account in the emergency that something goes wrong. Through our contractual obligation, we owe this person this money. So we have it. It's over here. That's why their contracts are guaranteed. We have this money over here somewhere in case of emergency. They can always get it. Now, they could void this contract by, getting busted gambling or steroids. So there are ways out of these contracts. But that money, once that money is agreed upon, it's put somewhere. It's not like year to year to year. So most of these owners don't have pockets like this. Most of these owners' pockets aren't deep enough to do an Ohtani, then to do a Kyle Tucker, then to do a Blake Snell. But the Dodgers and Mark Walters, their ownership group, they own so much shit. They own so much. By the way, were you ready for something that's gonna really hurt you? If you're a Padres fan, if you're against the lockout, if you're against the salary cap, the Dodgers have already made that money back from Ohtani. That's $700 million. They already made it back. They already made the money. Hear what I'm saying to you. The Dodgers gave Ohtani a $700 million contract. Every year, they've already made up his money in sponsorship deals from Japan. That's why everywhere the Dodgers go, there's a Japanese logo somewhere. There's a Japanese logo when the manager's talking. There's a Japanese logo behind them when they're playing in different cities that they travel to. I saw the Dodgers playing the Brewers earlier in the season. They had Japanese advertising only when the Dodgers are in town. So this money, and this is why the Dodgers are smarter than everyone else. They found the most marketable player, paid him the most money, found a revenue stream in a whole nother country, and now that money is pouring into this country through a fire hose. The Dodgers are trying to drink that money through a fire hose. Too much. They're drowning in money and ad dollars. Not to mention they have the largest stadium in baseball. Not to mention they have one of the best television networks. So they're making so much money. And that's what I'm saying. Be mad at you if you don't root for them. Your organization can do the same thing. I've been given people have talked so much shit about me when I say this. I've said this a bunch of times. And I will continue to say this no matter what. No matter what, I will continue to say this. The Padres can start their own television network. Will it amass the amount of money the Dodgers have? Absolutely not. But you can. The cost of running your network, you will make that money up in the people buying subscriptions. So the network will pay for itself if you keep the salaries reasonable. You already own most of the people who do the talking. Where's your own network? And then when you build that network, you do what the Yankees did with the Yes Network, and you do what the Dodgers did. You take other things that play locally, and then you make them, and you tell them, hey, we got all the eyeballs over here. And then you bring in San Diego State. You bring in SDFC. You bring in the Wave. You bring in you bring in some of these minor league teams. You bring them in and you play them on your channel. This is not complicated. But again, if you don't have the people in the power positions using their mind, watching what other teams are doing and replicating those things at the level that works for you, then you end up like this. Mad that they could go get Tariq Skubal. When in actuality, you could have got Tariq Skubal. Biggie says, by the way, best believe the Dodgers, Cubs, Yankees, Mets don't want to camp because it will actually hurt their brand. It won't hurt the Cubs brand, baby. Cubs ain't never spent money. Trust me, I know from the south side of Chicago. Mets, Yankees, yeah. The current version of the Mets, yes. I would throw the Phillies in there as well. But the Cubs, they never spent money like that. The Ricketts, they never spent money like that. The Wrigley family never spent money like that. So, yeah, man. Be mad at you. If you're new to the show, I'm John Brown, and you've been listening to the John Brown Podcast. As always, you can email the show at johnbrownpodcast@gmail.com. In addition to that, feel free, 100% free, to check out the John Brown Podcast shop where I sell stuff. Sweaters, shirts, Ass Island stickers. Shout out to Ass Island. Boop, boop, boop. For those of you new to the show, when somebody does something really stupid or play really, really bad, they go to Ass Island. Y'all want to see what Ass Island looks like? That's Ass Island. You never want to end up on Ass Island. There were a lot of Padres on Ass Island. They got off. So if you're new to the show, me and the co-host, this is what we do every day from 10 to 11, Monday through Friday. So yeah, do with that what you may. Hold on, I need to look up something real quick. Hold on. So yeah, man, I don't. Biggie, that is false. The 5 highest payrolls in baseball are the Dodgers, the Mets, the Yankees, the Phillies, and the Blue Jays. So the Cubs are not the third high. I think the Padres have a higher payroll than the Cubs, buddy. Come on, man. That's right. Let's grow this thing. Like and subscribe, baby. Now let's move on to my next story. So I told y'all the Padres had to follow a plan. I came on this show, and if you guys are paying attention, because I say the Padres stories for the end, I specifically did when this was happening. I said for the Padres to get back into contention, they had to do the following thing after they swept the Marlins. They won 3 games against the Marlins. I said they need to sweep the Rockies. They did. And I said they needed to win 3 out of 4 against the Giants. They lost the first game. They won the last 3. That's now 8 out of 9. That's now 8 out of 9. So are we back now? Are we going to? Because this wild card now. I made a lot of noise about the Padres having. No, the Padres got to jump 4 teams, and the Padres got to do this. The Padres got to do that. The Padres jumped Cincinnati, Washington, St. Louis, Pittsburgh, and Miami. And now they sit 1 game back of the Phillies and the Diamondbacks. The Diamondbacks are 6-10 in their last 10. The Phillies, which I don't, until they play the Padres, then they look like world beaters. They're 3-7 in their last 10. The Padres are 8-2 in their last 10. So the tide seems to be pulling in the Padres' direction. They're 32-25 at home. That's pretty good. And so now you go into a weekend, now you go into a 4-game series with the Arizona Diamondbacks. This is where you make the hay. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in Arizona. This is where you make the hay. By the way, the tickets starting in Arizona as low as $21. So tonight you can go see the Padres play the Diamondbacks at 6:40. You can go see Michael King pitch for $21 in Arizona. That must be nice, man. What up, Affy? What's up, Christina Ava? What up? What up, buddy? My Twitch bot back. What up? Excuses says, I keep saying it's only going to hurt us when we make the wild card again in ownership season success. Look, man, I'm telling you, that's not. We are having the wrong conversation. We are having a. You want to get into the playoffs because you want to be able to. You want the season to have meant something. The ownership transference, by the way, still hasn't happened. So until that happens, we're really in no man's land. We're really in no man's land. Period. So there's no other way to continue to go back and forth with this. We are in no man's land from an ownership standpoint. So I don't think there's going to be any big financial commitments or things go out because nobody wants your big contracts. And that's why when people talked about this Rafael Devers thing, who cares? They're not doing that. He's making 200-something million. We don't have space for another $200 million guy on this team who wants to play third base, by the way. We have a third baseman. He kicked up a lot of dust about playing third base in San Francisco and in Boston. We don't need another Red Sox here, man. No thanks. You make the playoffs to get the experience, man. Why run another mile, buddy? Why run another mile? You ran the ones before. Why keep running? What's the point? See how crazy that sounds to a runner? If I said to a runner, why keep running? Why run another mile? I mean, they might be asking themselves that question too at mile 50, like you. But why run another mile? That's the whole point. The whole point is to try to get as far as you can every year. The playoff chase, making it to the playoffs, is it's a reward for the fans, bruh. It's a reward for all the people who pack that stadium day after day after day. It's a thank you to the in pursuit of a championship to the people who fill Petco every single day they open the gates. Padre fans fill that place until the Dodgers come to town. And then the Dodgers fill that place half. Padres fill that place half. But come on, man. That's the whole thing. Fill the stadium. And so, therefore, when it comes time to show what you've done, your report card at the end of the year, you turn it in, you're a playoff team. And that's what we want. That's what everybody wants, an opportunity at playoff baseball, because once you get in, anything can happen. Anything can happen. Affy says, wait, hold on, wait. Affy says, bet you they are afraid Feliciano would go, would have gone wild spending. Whatever the case may be, bro, what's taking so long? Graham says we can't win the division, so we can only get in the wild card. We won't win the division with this current structure. Yeah, you won't win. The way this is going, you are never going to win a division. So your best way in is the playoffs. Your best way in is through the wild card. This is why the wild card was created, to give other teams incentive to keep playing toward the end of the year. The Padres are in the mix with 4 other teams. They're in the mix, man. And that's all you can ask for, is an opportunity at another set of games. They are in the mix. The Cubs are 4 games ahead, and then the Diamondbacks and the Phillies are a game ahead. You can fix that tonight. Michael King goes out there, does business, you outscore them, bam. Now you are in the playoffs. So that's what this is all about. I can't believe you're excuseless. Bro, see, I knew this would happen to Padre fans. I knew this would happen to y'all. I knew this would happen. How quickly we forget. Excuseless says, I'm just saying we're tired of just making it. Things have gotten worse before they gotten better. Can't say average year after year. Okay. I'm glad you said that. Remember when the Padres never made the playoffs? Remember when the Padres were the try-hard Padres and they never won anything? Remember when you were relying on Will Myers? Remember that? Remember Sean Burrows, Khalil Green? Remember those guys? Remember when you were relying on those guys? Never forget those times. Because that was the bitter. This is the semi-sweet. Those were really bad times. Those were really, really bad times. The Mike Cameron days. So you can't win it unless you don't make it. You can't win the postseason unless you make the postseason. There's no guarantees in the postseason. As great as the Dodgers are, last year, the Blue Jays should have beat them. We all watched it. Some of us watched it more than others, but there were a multitude of times in the 9th inning where the Blue Jays should have won that game. They didn't. There was a time where the Padres should have beat the Dodgers. There's been a time in the last 5 years where the Padres did beat the Dodgers. But if you don't get in, what type of team are you trying to get? What type of team do you think you need to have before the season starts for you to feel like, okay, now we should go for it? Baseball is a long season filled with a lot of ups and downs, man. A lot of ups and downs. We had a lot of downs. This seems to be an up. We 8-2 in the last 10. Let's see if they can pull it out. But they followed my plan. I said after they swept the Mariners. After they swept the Marlins, I said sweep the Rockies. Get 3 out of 4 from San Francisco, and now we can talk. Now we talking. Win tonight. See JD. What up, JD? Countdown to Preller doing something dumb. See, I don't think they're going to do anything. I literally think they are not going to do anything. I think the fact that you have Musgrove and Pivetta throwing somewhere, I don't know where, throwing somewhere. I think they're going to hit you with that press release of getting these guys back is the trade deadline move. Doing nothing is the best thing they could. You don't need, and again, people have disagreed with me. I've said this all year too. You don't need any more bats. You need the bats you have to hit. Xander Bogaerts is hitting 8th. You have enough bats. You have enough bats not performing. You don't need another bat to come in here and not perform. Get the guys you have to hit. If you get the guys you have that you are paying large sums of money, which there are 6 of them, to hit, you will be okay. If you get Tatis, Merrill, Manny, Xander, Cronenworth, and they paid another person too. There's 6 people on this roster that they pay a lot of money to. Those 6 people hit. If those 6 people hit, the closer is the best in the business. That's not up for discussion. But if you get Pivetta back, you get Musgrove back, along with Michael King, those three guys in your starting rotation with the bullpen, you are in a great position. But you gotta, guess what? Clears throat, looks at the person in the room. You gotta get in. You gotta get in. You gotta get in. JD says their starting rotation is so bad we only have about 50 more bullpen games to get these guys out there. Get these guys on the field. And if Nick Pivetta and Joe Musgrove are playing at the end of the year, you now have a starting rotation of Musgrove, Pivetta, who was smoking before he went out, and Michael King. That's a 3. That's a good 1, 2, 3 going into a playoff series. Don't you agree? Who disagrees with that? Who disagrees with Musgrove, Pivetta, and King in any order going into a playoff series? Best of 5. I like that. You're not going to find much better around baseball than that outside of you know where. You get that healthy. I don't know what you're getting out of Musgrove, but if you get healthy, if you get Musgrove out there, you get Pivetta out there, you get King out there, ain't much out there better than that. You get the ball to your bullpen, you get the ball to your closer. You get the ball to the closer, it's over. You get the ball to the closer, it's over. You get the ball to certain people in the bullpen. At that point, you give me 6 innings out of the starter. We'll find 2 innings in the bullpen. A lot of these guys who are playing now, they won't get those opportunities in the postseason, man. WVC, we don't know, but we won't know until we see it. So let's see it. Let's see it. Let's let it play out. Let's let it play out because 9 days ago we were all bailing. I was bailing. I'll speak for myself. 9 days ago I was bailing. 10 days later, they follow the plan. Now I'm back. I'm back. Great show. Great show today, guys. Yeah, JD. JD, we talked about that, bro. Listen, we'll dip back into it. I'll tell you this. You can't be mad. You can't be mad at nobody but yourself, man. This isn't collusion. I talked about specifically this. I talked about people who believe that this is collusion. You don't want to give up 2 top 50, prospects for Scooble. The Dodgers did. Yeah, I know he said he wanted to play for the Dodgers. So what? So what? He's still going to perform when he gets to your team. You still could have used him if you're Milwaukee, but we talked about why Milwaukee didn't do it. So I don't think it's collusion, man. I think that salary cap is coming, JD. That salary cap is coming, JD. Ain't nothing. Batting the hatches. Go to Costco, buy all the toilet paper and canned goods you can. Y'all gonna be watching the Savannah Bananas next year, bro. Y'all gonna be watching the WWE of baseball. Cut it out. It ain't collusion. It's over. They made the decision. There's gonna be no baseball next year. They made the decision. You know how you broke. You know how sometimes you can break up with somebody. You know it's over before you tell them. That's what the owners did to the players. They've already made a decision. We locking out. We locking out, bro. Enjoy them Savannah Banana checks. Shohei. Enjoy them Savannah Banana checks, Manny. Hey, Aaron Judge, enjoy them Savannah Banana checks. They ain't the same. They ain't the same, man. If they're 20, let me see, how many All-Stars? Let me see. So 50 All-Stars. Let's go 50 All-Stars making decent money around Major League Baseball. There are about 8 teams with guys making real money, like real legit, like, oh my God, that's a lot of money, baseball. The owners own other stuff. The owners own other stuff. They're just going to go own the textile factory or the car company or the robots that they got karate kicking each other somewhere. They own other stuff, man. They'll just go turn their attention to the other stuff they own until this gets figured out. The owners aren't going to lose money. Not the way you think. They'll just go to their other business. I talked about this, JD, earlier in the show, and I'll repeat this again. This is why it will be a lockout. Because these owners are not the owners from the 90s. These are not people who are mom and pop ownership. Families don't own these baseball teams anymore. Investment groups do. Venture capitalist groups own these teams now. What Mark Walters does, that's not mom and pop. The people coming in who own the Padres, Kwanzaa and Feliciano, they're not mom and pop. They're just the people you know. Like you know Mark Walters. You know them. Manny owns Affy, that's a great. Affy, this is a great question. How many gonna pay SDFC? Man, they don't depend on him for the check. No. Shout out to Manny for owning a piece of the team. I think you need to look at your owner for your prospective team, and that'll tell you how far the strike's gonna go. If you're Mark Walters, imagine how much stuff they own that they could pay Ohtani $700 million and already have made it back. Remember, the owners can afford to pay these guys. They got the money. No owners, this ain't the Buss family owning the Lakers. It's real money now. It's real money now, y'all. I'll see y'all tomorrow. We'll see who the Padres got on the roster tomorrow. Damn, Appy. That's cold. We'll see it. Listen, I was one of Ethan Salas' main cheerleaders. I got to see him now, bro. I got to see him. See y'all tomorrow, man. Peace.